Welcome to beautiful California's wine country. My name is Vlada and I'm inviting you today to my house to share with you one of the recipes I have developed through time. And what I'm going to share with you today is a recipe for an appetizer, and I call it creamy prosciutto rolls. I know that you're gonna love this. It's a very simple recipe to make, so let me show you how it's done, and let's get started. So what we have here today is some of the ingredients that most of you already have in your household. So we're gonna start with about a cup of finely sliced prosciutto, one package of 8-ounce Philadelphia cream cheese, about 3/4 cup of feta cheese, and in this case I have a goat cheese, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of a finely grounded flaxseed, and later on in recipe I'll explain to you that this is optional. You don't have to use it. I just like to use it something like this in my dough. 2 teaspoons of the yeast. We have 1 teaspoon of the sugar. I'm using a raw sugar in this case. A little bit of salt, pepper, and I have about 2 tablespoons of roasted and chopped, or how would you say, just the finely chopped almonds. They're roasted, as I mentioned. A little bit of lemon, some garlic, a couple of 3 cloves of garlic, some parsley, 1 stick of butter. We have a cup of warm water here, but later on we're going to use probably another half a cup. So altogether we're going to need about 1.5 cups of water, 3 cups of flour, and I think we pretty much got all. So let's get started. We're going to start by combining our lukewarm water with our yeast and some sugar. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, we're going to put a teaspoon of sugar, mix it a little bit, and then just add 2 teaspoons of yeast. And we're going to let it sit for a few minutes. While our yeast is getting ready, what I'm going to do is work on the rest of my dough, which is this is a stick of butter. I'm going to add a single egg to our butter. I'm going to add our 2 tablespoons of finely grounded flaxseed. Again, this is something you don't have to have in your recipe, but I'd like to do it just for the health benefits and also for the look. This is going to add to the texture and the look of our dough. And what I have here again is almonds, roasted almonds. I'm just going to mix this. Add a little bit of salt. Actually, a couple of 3 good pinches of salt. And we're just going to mix it. A last ingredient I'm going to add to my dough mixture will be a little bit of lemon. So let's just give a little lemon peel to our dough. I know some of you might question lemon and prosciutto, but trust me, dough will taste very good. It will have a very good flavor to it. So we're just going to put a little bit. And while this is resting and waiting for my yeast to rise, I'm going to prepare the mixture that we're going to use to fill our dough. So let me show you how that's done. Now we're going to make the filling for our rolls. And what we're going to use is a cream cheese. And let's just soften our cream cheese. As you see, it is at room temperature already. I'm going to put our prosciutto. I said that we need about a 3/4 cup to cup of prosciutto. You can add more if you wish to have a stronger flavor of prosciutto in there. 1 egg. Oh, there we go. A little bit of black pepper. And a touch of salt. And then I'm going to go and chop some parsley and add some fresh parsley to it. I love the smell of fresh parsley. It reminds me of summer. Let's add our parsley to our mixture. And the last thing I'm going to add is our feta cheese. Last thing I'm doing for my mixture is to add some of the fresh garlic to the mixture. And have 1 large clove of garlic in there. My mixture is ready and I'm gonna let it sit and rest a little bit. And now let's really have fun and let's make a dough for our rolls. Now, don't be fooled by the looks, because I am a one homey kitchen mama. And if there's anything I know in life, that I sure know my dough. So let me show you how to make this exciting and fun and good tasting dough. First, we're gonna add our beautiful yeast mixture. And remember, we have a little bit of sugar and some warm water in here. And then we're gonna add some flour. And by all means, don't be afraid to use your hands. So let's just work on this mixture. And we'll continue adding flour as needed until we reach needed and wanted thickness of our. My dough looks absolutely wonderful. And I wish you were here to smell it and to touch it. It has a wonderful texture, and the smell of lemon and almonds, almonds give it a little nutty smell of it. Butter smells so rich and warm, and the lemon gives it a little zest. So even without a filling, even without the prosciutto and cream cheese, this dough alone will be a hit. But adding a cream cheese to this and the prosciutto and feta cheese and some garlic and parsley, of course, it's gonna make it just absolutely wonderful, and it's gonna be a winner for sure. It looks so beautiful. Let me show you. Look at this beautiful baby. Just like everything else in life, the more attention you give to something, the better things turn out. So same thing with our dough. We're gonna give a little more love to our dough, and then we're gonna let it rest. And once it's rested and it starts rising again, we're gonna spread it, fill it, roll it, cut it, and shove it in the oven. And there we have our appetizer. So the mixture is ready. The dough had rested a little bit, so I think it's ready. It's very, very, very fluffy and soft, and the butter will add to flakiness of it. So it's gonna be just wonderful, I'm pretty sure. And what do you think about this? My magic wand, huh? So let's get busy. I'm gonna spread the dough fairly thin, and what we're gonna do with that, we're gonna try to make it square, try to mimic the shape of this board, and then we're gonna fill it with our mixture and roll it, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do next. I want to share with you a little trick that I use anytime you need to make strudels or you need to roll something. I'm going to use my nice tablecloth, put a little bit of flour on it. Then I'm going to transfer my dough on the tablecloth. I'm going to continue with stretching it. You want it to be thin. Now that we have a desired thinness of our dough, I'm just going to try to shape it again and a square. And I don't know how much you can see, but this dough looks so beautiful. The color, the texture, the nuts and smell of it is absolutely wonderful. So it's ready for our mixture. Let's put the filling in, roll it, and then we're gonna cut it. My dough is already rich. We have some butter inside, we have some nuts as I mentioned, and I didn't want to use too much of the filling. So we're just gonna spread what we have here. And to help you spread this mixture, just use an ordinary spoon and just evenly spread it throughout your dough. But it's evenly spread out, we're gonna start rolling it, and we're gonna start rolling it this way. Try to keep it tight, nice and tight. And it looks just great. Now we're going to start cutting it. Let's start cutting our appetizer. I'm going to cut it first in the middle. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, look at that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful baby. And I have a pitcher of water here. that I'm gonna use to soak my knife, just to avoid knife sticking to the dough and to the insides of oh, look how nice this is. All right, and just keep cutting and lining them in a baking pan. Need a little more water. And while I'm cutting these, I have my oven on a 350 pre-warming, so I'm going to give my dough probably about 5 to 10 minutes for yeast to kind of get my dough rising, and then I'm going to put it in the oven and we're going to bake it for about 15 to 20 minutes. It should be ready. How can you resist something like this? All we need is a glass of wine. And we're almost done cutting, and I just want to tell you that when you cook and your recipes turn out good, and I, not to brag, but most of my recipes turn out good, there's just something that feels so good. And especially when you work with dough, I love working with dough. So having my dough turn out good and promising, it really makes me happy. So I can't wait to try it and see how this turns out. We're ready, so let's put it in the oven. And we're gonna give it about, what do we say, 15 to 20 minutes. And hopefully in 15 to 20 minutes, we're gonna have a golden brown rolls, creamy rolls. And I'm gonna get myself a glass of wine so we can have a party. See how they look. Oh, very pretty. I think our rolls are ready, so let's take a look. Oh, indeed they are. They're turning golden brown, and what I want to do, and this is completely optional to you, you don't have to. I like to bring the golden brown even more out, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use egg yolk, just a touch of honey, and a couple of drops of oil, and I'm just going to put it over our rolls and put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes and take them out. And what this will do, this will bring shine and color to our rolls. So as soon as we're done with this, we'll be back in the oven in another 5 minutes. I think I'm going to check on our rolls for the last time, and I truly believe they're done this time. So let's pull them out. Oh, indeed they are. Look how pretty they look, shiny and very inviting, if you will. And in either case, I would give them another 5 minutes to sit, but because of you, I'm going to get them out right away. Oh, how nice, how nice. And I'm going to arrange them on a plate just to show you how the final dish will look like. And here we have our final dish. It looks very nice, and I wish you were here to taste it because it's absolutely delicious. It's flaky, it's rich, it smells lemony and nutty, and it's just the right thing to have with a glass of wine. So thank you again for this opportunity, and I'll tell you what, I have never looked so good in my kitchen. So we're gonna miss this contest. And until it's over, we're gonna have fun and enjoy it. And cheers to you, cheers to craft.